Are y'all ready for a campfire cocktail? I know I am, and on cold nights, it is so nice to have a hot drink. Today, we are bringing you Trump Tonic from Postmaster in Newport, Arkansas. I don't know if this is truth, Trump Tonic. I don't know if this is political satire. Either way, it's delicious. You're gonna love it. We're starting this one off with a little chocolate dipped graham cracker crust rim. Oh, look at that. That looks so good. Now it's time to add in our main ingredient, the Trump Tonic. This is a salted caramel flavor. It smells so good and it tastes even better. Add in your hot cocoa. We're gonna finish it off with a little whipped cream. Some marshmallows. And a little chocolate stick. You're welcome. This hot chocolate is amazing. And I love just that little bite, that salted caramel. That is so good. Thanks to Postmaster in Newport for hooking us up with this recipe. It is absolutely amazing. Y'all are gonna love it. So, on today's paranormal investigation, we met up with Chris and Blake from Sweet N Sour Paranormal. And they shared Chris's top 3 picks for most haunted places in Arkansas.
Wow.
It was wild. Y'all check it out.
I'll give my top 3.
Okay.
The Arkansas State Capitol.
All right. Yeah, I saw y'all's video recently on that one. That's awesome.
It was just one thing on top of another. In fact, do what?
Some things they wouldn't let us ship.
Isn't there a cemetery or something?
Actually, the whole area is supposed to be Indian burial ground.
Oh, wow.
A long time back, but then they put the state penitentiary right there where the Capitol was. And then the state capitol.
Wow. Wow.
So the whole area has a lot of history and everything.
So were y'all in there at night or during the day? Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he had, to me, of course, of all the stuff we got, they wouldn't let us use the footage that they got on their security cameras because he walked in.
I'll recreate it.
Recreation.
I'm walking this way. My hat goes this way.
Wow.
It should go this way if I'm walking this
No,
way.
and you were looking up when it happened.
Yeah,
so you're looking up and his hat goes
this way.
Oh, wow.
I caught it right here.
And
then I was like,
And they caught a
what was
video.
that?
Yeah, what was that?
It's on video. 18 people saw it.
We saw it on video, and then later, about 2 weeks later, Michelle was going through her footage, and she literally started filming him right after it happened.
Right
And so he still has the hat in his hand, and he's looking around
trying to figure out what happened.
and you hear this echoey throughout the hallway. And so it was like, oh my God, or anything. But then the context of that, without the hat, didn't really.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was. Yeah, that place. Of course, the Four Quarter Bar. The main.
What is that? Where is that?
It is in
Arlington District. Yeah.
Main Street. Yeah, I had an experience which blew my mind because everybody else was upstairs. I went downstairs by myself in a back bathroom, and I
We don't want to hear about that experience.
Haunting me will go.
So I put the digital recorder in front of me. I was going to back into a corner. Of course, it's kind of a small bathroom. I back up in the corner, but I felt crowded, so I turned around and started recording into the corner. And I said, "Can you hear me?" And I actually have that with me, so y'all can hear me.
Definitely want to hear that.
But you hear, I say, "Can you hear me?" And you hear this, "Yes, I can." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's what that said." And then I went upstairs, played it, and everybody was like, "Oh, it just said yes, I can." And I was like, "Oh my God, you heard the exact same thing I did."
So did you hear that audibly while you were in there or only on the recorder?
Only on the recorder.
Wow. Have you ever heard anything audibly while you were in?
Sometimes you'll hear something. You'll think you hear something. Of course, it'll be much more pronounced and everything when you're recording. But things I've heard.
So what about the third place?
Jones Elementary School in Hot Springs.
Wow.
And that was for my childhood. I taking a test and kids would go up to the teacher's desk, turn in their stuff. Sometimes there'd be a little line. Well, I remember I was taking a test and I looked up and I didn't think anything paranormal about it, but there was a girl standing on the other side of the teacher in between the wall and the teacher, which would be awkward anyway. But she was just standing there and clear as day and was wearing a dress made out of a potato sack. And I just thought it was odd. And I as soon as I made eye contact, I looked down. And then I looked back up. No one was there, but didn't think anything about it. A few years later, I said something to my grandmother, and she's like, "Oh, we used to make dresses during the Depression with whatever material we could find or anything." And so that's when I started piecing it together. Maybe that was a ghost or anything. And then there was another time when I was in the cafeteria in the basement. It was all lunch, and there was a man just standing in the middle of the room. And yet again, it's one of those things that, once you don't want to make eye contact or anything, I looked away and looked back. No man, and there's no way he could have just broken away. So it's one of those things that I would love to get in there just from my experience as a child to go in and actually investigate as an adult and everything. So.
Those were some crazy stories. I can't imagine being in those different places and seeing, a little girl and an old man and like experiencing all these wild things. That's just incredible.
It sure is.
They get to see some cool things. Anyway.
It scared me out of my pants.
We hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Campfire Cocktails. Again, thank you to Sweet N Sour Paranormal, to Blake and Chris, and also to Postmaster in Newport. Y'all have definitely got to check that out. It is absolutely amazing, and I hear it's haunted too.
Yeah.